What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes for everyone to start joining, just because we're doing the live stream for our Sunday Stock Talk. So for those that are rewatching the video, pretty much Sunday Stock Talks are recaps on last week's trading, as well as kind of what to expect on this upcoming week. So if you guys don't know what Technical Solutions is, it's kind of just a group. Right now we're sitting at about 2,021 members worldwide. Again, a wide band of, just beginners and experienced traders on learning the basics and fundamentals and sharing best practices and efforts to promote growth. So now we're starting to see a couple people jump in. I'm going to go ahead and shout it out on the Facebook platform that we're live. But yeah, overall last week we had a pretty good week. We ended it on a really good note. Nothing crazy. It was with my trade on NUGT. I'm doing a little bit better. I don't usually shout out exactly like where I'm buying and where I'm selling. And the reason I don't do that isn't because I just want whatever it is that I trade to be kept in secret. But it's to not have people kind of in a sense mimic my trades. This group isn't for you guys to jump on whatever it is that I jump to kind of it's not that. I want it to be a group where you guys can share best practices. You guys can learn from my videos on where to buy, where to sell, on an overall concept on like technical analysis and support and resistance and being able to identify that. So I think if you guys can focus more on just the fundamentals of trading rather than mimicking my trades, that will truly, in the long run, lead to your success. Yes, you might, get in a couple trades, but let's say whatsoever I'm not here tomorrow, and you're doing this as a career or just as a source of income, then you're less likely to be successful because of this. So there is a chat room that I'm going to be logging in, and you are going to have access to it with this YouTube live stream. So if you guys want, ask me any questions. There's a couple questions that are already being asked, but I'm going to join the live stream just so I can actually see what you guys are saying, since I have no real chat. I kind of have to log in on a separate device. All right, give it 1 second. But again, thank you again so much for taking time out of your Sunday to, in a sense, join us, right, for this. So. It's actually not allowing me to join. I'll try to see if I can pull it up any other way, but I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So right now, with all the different platforms that we have available, we're sitting a little bit over 2,000 members, of 20,000 or 2,021 members worldwide. Again, from all different bands of just experience levels, right? So it's definitely a great group to get started. I basically upload daily recaps on kind of hoping that you guys can learn from my best practices and my mistakes as well, as I do make those. So an effort for you guys to learn from my mistakes, to not have to repeat them, and then kind of going based on that. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can. There we go. I have access to the chat room now. So excited to be here. Go Devils. All right, so I'm going to say hi to a couple people. So Celeste is here. It says Make Gerald, Ricky Gonzalez, Andrew Michael Harris. Do you ever do ETFs? They move quickly, and that's why I'm asking. I do not. Ricky's with the Holland. That's by Steven. Roads have dream balls. Okay, so that's kind of a good question. So Roach, low 43rd, asked me what made me get into the trading world. It's not necessarily what really got me into it, but it's kind of I saw the potential and how you can scale it out. So right now, for all those that are trading with like $50 or $100, like that's great. I started with $3,500. Actually, I started with $5,000. I lost $3,500 within like my first 3 months of trading. Again, I was under the age of 18. And I didn't know how to trade. So like a lot of people that kind of just give up after they initially start trading, they go in, hoping for the best, not knowing what to trade, jump on a stock hoping that it's going to shoot up, you know, like 50, 100%, in effort to make, you know, your just to get, it's like get rich, right? Quick. And that's definitely not how it is now with what we do with TechBuds. It's never been like that with TechBuds whatsoever. And I've definitely, you know, have made it very clear that this group, depending on what you're starting at. So obviously here, if you already have a large amount of money that you're willing to invest, you're more likely to see a faster return than most people. But I don't want you guys to focus on that. I started seeing a larger return when I started focusing on the concept and the fundamentals of trading. I started focusing more on the percentage of return rather than the actual dollar value that I would actually receive. So with that, if you guys are scaling out $50, $100, whatever it is that you guys are risking or trading per day, just imagine that as you continue to grow your account, seeing those returns. Let's say you're trading with a $100 account and you continue to shoot for 10%. Doesn't mean that you're going to hit 10%, but you follow our rules. So our first rule, we don't hold a penny stock overnight. The reason we don't do that is because we don't want that stock to get delisted. Since these stocks are so volatile, we want to ensure that we can control the money that we lose. Again, we're in this business to make money. So understanding that you have to be able to manage it, and it's really hard to manage it or impossible to manage it after market hours or whatever it opens at, since, you know, it can get news that, like, you know, it's going bankrupt. And then if any of you have ever held overnight and then, you know, ride the stock, you know, 20, 30%, it's going to take you 3 to 4 days, if that, to even just get back to that one day that you held overnight, because you didn't want to, you know, use one of your day trades with Robinhood, or because you ran out of day trades. You have to have a whole plan set up. So again, not holding a penny stock overnight. We only trade stocks that have 10% potential. So if you see a stock that has, you know, 2%, 3%, yes, you can write it, but especially if how many of you are under the $25,000 account limit, you guys have to understand, you guys have to value those day trades and ensure like you make them go the furthest that they can, right? So being able to value every single time you trade, make sure you know where you're buying in, where you're selling, and make sure that it has, you know, 10+% potential in return. So what you can do is, you know, if it opened, we're day traders. We don't need it to show growth, you know, with a long period of time. But if it opened at $2 and all of a sudden it's at $1.80, you know, if you can catch it at that bounce from 180 and it goes back to where it opened, on you know, the top market value, it's going to say it's had a 0% return for the day, or a rate of change for the day. But you just made 10% based on the trade, on being able to identify the support, jumping in at 180. Your whole plan could have been, you know, jumping at 180, sell back at $2, cut losses anything below the support at 180, and now you have a whole game plan on how to be successful. And that is why we trade penny stocks that have more than 10%. The third one is to always have a stop loss. So again, the only way that you can ensure that you're going to make money in this business or in this market in the long run is if you can control how much money you lose. So being able to minimize loss and promote growth, that's what's going to lead to success overall in the long run. So there's a lot of traders that, you know, sometimes bring, you know, thousands of dollars of, you know, profit, but they also bring in, you know, thousands of dollars of loss because of, you know, not knowing what a cut loss is, not staying close, or not staying disciplined with the rules. Overall, in the long run, if you continue to, you know, go by the rules that you set up yourself and you stay disciplined, that's what's going to lead for your success. It's kind of like investing. It's a simple concept, but no one does it. And the reason no one does it, it's because, I don't know, you're human and, you know, you get emotional, and you definitely don't want that to be a reason why you don't become successful in trading, when it definitely makes sense on, you know, if you understand where you're buying and it's a good buy based on you being able to identify the support, being able to identify the resistance, and you can label that as a good sell point. And worst case scenario, it goes below the support, you cut your losses and you move on to the next stock. It's very hard, and it's something that, you know, I still continue to struggle with, but I'm getting better at it. And that's why I'm not investing, you know, my full $30,000 brokerage account and trying to make, you know, 10% off of that, because I feel as I continue to scale it out, again, I do trading as another source of income. It's not my main source. And being able to be realistic and having a normal job for now, and then do this on the side and do different types of business on the side, is truly what I think is going to lead to my success. And yes, it's a little bit more secure and I'm not very risky, but I'm risky enough to be able to scale out my risk, and I know how to manage it pretty well. So it's been something that's led to my success, obviously, and hopefully, you know, it's the concept that you guys can use and input it into any business or any concept that you guys want to get into. So I'm going to start answering a couple more questions, and then I'm going to get into kind of a recap of last week and what to expect this upcoming week. There's actually a lot of you that are coaching. I'm gonna have to go through it pretty quickly. Hello, so Hadar says, simplify technical analysis, please. I actually did do a recap or a video specifically for that, so that's on my YouTube channel. It's about support levels and resistance levels, and it elaborates a little bit more on that. So Daniel says hi, Michael says hi. What's up, Kenneth Board, Celeste. So Celeste asks, what's the estimated time, Eastern Standard Time? So the market opens here in Arizona at 7:30. We usually start seeing activity at 7, so about 30 minutes before. So since the market opens in Eastern Standard Time around 9:30, then that would be the time. So you're going to start seeing that about 9, that you're going to start seeing alarms. A lot of people do mute the chat just because it's going to be, especially with how big the group is now, it's going to see alert after alert after alert. So just heads up on that. Do I use Fidelity only? No, I use Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and Robinhood. I use each different app and brokerage company for a different tool that they each have to offer. So it's but I actively have money in some of the in all 3 accounts. I also just opened, because of one of my buddies, a what's it called, Charles Schwab account based on the different screeners that application has. But I have not funded it, so I probably will fund it this upcoming month. Okay, I'm reading some of your, I actually did not understand your question, Stephen, so if you want to repeat that. I tend to cut my losses right below the support. I stated cut losses anything below 2.5% if you want to give it a little bit more margin. But if you know the support, let's say, is at $1.80, why, let it drop a little bit further? Yes, you can, and you can risk that. But I think when you get to a larger account, that's just money that I don't want to risk. So when it drops right below the support, I sell, and if it balances, 2.5% below where I cut losses, then I just buy there and ride it back up. So that's how I do it. Ever thought of doing live trading videos? I actually have, and I probably just I get really busy in the morning, and it's just not. I'm not always I trade actively for at least 2 hours. So I probably will in the future, just not at the moment right now. I don't know if you guys would be open to it. If you guys would like that. If you guys would like that, let me know. Reach out to me. I do want to let you guys know, all of you who have reached out to me. I have over 100 messages on Facebook. Facebook does not notify me if you're not my friend. So I don't get any of your messages. I just saw the list of messages. I felt so bad. So I do apologize. Emailing me, I'm backed up I caught up to maybe 2 days worth of emails. So I'm 2 days behind, and it's still over 100 emails. So I really do apologize. I did get to a lot of people today, but give me some time there. Group me is a great way. You just tag me, and it's one I'm pretty responsive with it, at least if you tag me. Rate right now to join the group chat is about 48 to 72 hours, just because of how many emails I've been receiving. So with a small account, how much of an account would you actually trade with? 2,000, 20%? Okay, so well, this is for Sneaker Pro. So he asked me for a small account, how much of the account would you actually trade? For example, if you have $2,000 with 20% of it, of the whole. So depending on what brokerage company you have, so if you have Fidelity, they allow you to day trade and stuff like that, so that could be a little bit different. But if you have Robin and you have a $2,000 account and you're just starting out and you want to learn or kind of get your feet wet a little bit more, I'd recommend focusing more on not using Robinhood Instant, so you can day trade a little bit more. So instead of risking the full $2,000 every single time you trade, maybe risking $200, and then we'll give you 10 trades within a 3-day period, since it takes 3 days for it to settle. So you might have a couple more trades you can do, and you have the funds available, so you don't have to worry about Robinhood Instant. But I went through a majority of your guys' messages, so I hope I answered most of them. I'm going to go ahead and now start explaining one of the biggest questions or concerns. I did provide you guys with the link only for this live stream. I am going to remove it after this live stream for the swing trading group chat. It is the first link you can click on. And I do want to specify that Justin Lawrence is going to be the leader in this group. And the reason why is because he is a excellent long-term or swing trader. And I think kind of where I want to guide the swing trading group. He's definitely the best candidate for that. He's very knowledgeable and he's very open, and he responds, with deep, just with very just detailed messages. He seen the messages. He responds to people when they have questions, and I definitely think he's like the perfect candidate to be the leader in that group. So that link is provided for you down below. So swing trading is long-term trading, so it's not day trading. So for those individuals that can't get up in the morning or are busy from time to time and just want to learn a little bit more about trading and want to invest in it, but want to do a little bit more long-term, swing trading is about 2 weeks to a little bit to a couple months. And you buy again at the low points, sell at the high points, but it's not so much with like high volume stocks. It's definitely more with long-term stocks. So they have watch lists. They have their own. They still use the principles of what we use with TechBuds. I mean, to branch off TechBuds, but they do it in a different manner. It's a lot slower pace. You can manage it at your own time. So instead of having a 401k or savings account, it's what Justin does. He invests, whatever it is his account is, into that, and you tend to see a larger return rather than having it in a bank account. Yes, it is a little bit riskier, right, than having it in a guaranteed by the FDIC, but overall you tend to see a way larger return simply by just understanding where the supports and resistance are for long-term stocks. And it's definitely something that's if you guys would like to be a part of that group link is provided in the description, and it's going to be the first link down there. If you guys would like to be a part of the group, the Facebook platform and my email is provided for you down in the description as well. There's a free group you can join. All this is free. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. For all the questions that you guys have, I do have a section, and I'm going to start sharing my screen in my YouTube channel based on playlists that I've created. There's an investing playlist that's pretty much just all the recaps. Everything that has to do with investing is designed and kind of put in there. Since I've been uploading so often, so you guys don't have to filter through all that. There's just like how-to videos or learning videos on how to trade and stuff like that. So those videos are put into a little bundle. There's about like less than 10 of them. So I think that's going to be very helpful for those that are kind of getting started on support, support and resistance, how to buy stocks, and I'm going to continue to create more and then put them on that playlist so they're, easily accessed for you guys, and you guys can always go back to them if you guys have any questions. Yeah, I can see that there's a bunch of people now joining this swing trading group. So okay, so now Lillian asks, how do you find these companies that we have never heard of? One of the biggest things for exposure to these stocks has been this group. So now we have 2,000 people, over 2,000 people worldwide that are doing their own research and trying to find, the next big stock. And that's why I created this group. Now we have 2,000 minds that are motivated and effort to create the next big thing. So again, that's why I'm so focused in, making sure that you guys learn the basics and fundamentals of trading, and effort to, once you guys learn that, and now you guys start, filtering through different stocks and being able to identify supports and resistance successfully, then you guys can share those stocks that have potential in your perspective, share it with the group, and then now allow us, the other members within the group, to learn and to do our own analysis on that stock and choose to invest if we want to in that specific stock. So this stock has mainly been on Y right now currently. I mean, I change it from, almost weekly on different stocks that add to it, and different stocks that I move out once they, either get delisted or anything like that. So right now I have over about 50 stocks with all my different watch lists, and it's ones that I filter through, daily. And I do technical analysis. I usually have 5 stocks the night before I trade, and then I go down to about 3 for the morning, depending on how they opened, and I kind of just focus on that. As you guys can tell, based on how has been within this group, it gets very overwhelming based on all the different stocks that are being thrown at you, especially if you don't know like just the terms that we're kind of just expressing, and you don't know how to do technical analysis. It can kind of lead you to do an investment that you would have not done if you were just kind of told to kind of just focus on 2 or 3 more stocks. It could be overwhelming having so many different just options. So make sure you guys don't focus on the options. Have 2 to 3 different stocks and analyze them. If you guys see the potential, stick to those and, make a plan, exit, and, stop loss, and kind of go based on that and continue that and learn from your best practices, share them, and then move on to the next day. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see my my technical analysis on the one side starts showing you guys, and we can go from there on kind of the stocks that I traded last week, what I did good, some tricks in a sense, and what I'm looking to trade tomorrow. All right, so NETE, the reason I think this one is, has so much potential is because of the huge volume spike it had a couple days ago. And as you guys saw, right away when this one got shutted out, I was like, look, this looks like a pump and dump, just because of how low the volume was. So what this means is, let's do like a 10-day analysis. So it's, a simple stock. So it's Net Element Incorporated. I don't know anything about the company whatsoever. I just know that right here, since these aren't true candlesticks, they're almost lines from time to time, that the volume is very low. So what that means is that it could be easily manipulated. So someone that probably bought very heavy around this area could have, it went from the hundreds. It went from the hundreds to the thousands to the tens of thousands and then to the millions. So just think of the volume. The volume means, shares being sold and bought. So just the vast number of people that are buying and trading the stock based on all the hype that is being built. That's why this is called more like momentum trading. I'm not very successful when it comes to that. Again, I've talked a lot about it. I'm more of a technical trader, but I was able to identify that, it hit the support, hit the resistance, peaked out at nearly like $1.50, came back down, built a support around 110, hit lows of 1, and then that's when we traded it. It highs about 120 and then continued to bleed back down. And then built a support. The reason I knew there was going to be a support at 90 cents was because that was the old resistance. So what that means is I'm going to get a little bit closer for you guys so you guys could see. But as you guys could see, it wasn't able to pass really above 90 cents. This was before the huge spike. It was trading between 80 cents to 90, and it would bounce in that area. And, the median price was around 85 to 86. It would bounce in between that area. So the support was 80, resistance was 90. Like we've said before, old resistance become new supports, meaning the level, 90 cents, that it struggled to go above. Once it went above it and it started coming back down, that was going to now be a support, meaning that it was most likely going to bounce at that. And once it went below that, now it's trading like it did before, from about 80 to 90 cents. And I called that out right away. I told you guys on one of my recap videos that NET, was going at, it went up, most likely going to come back down of 90 cents and then start trading back where it did. Again, it's not that I was able to predict anything that was like crazy. It was because of its history, and it tends to trade within that area. So if it got manipulated and goes up and comes back down, where is it going to go down? Day traders, we have to know and identify where these bounces are going to be. So being able to identify those, we don't care how much the stock has increased within that day. We're not ones that rode on or jumped on it. So we want to know where the support's going to be and where the resistance is going to be, so we can set up a plan on where we're buying, where we're selling, and where we're cutting our losses. Being able to set up a plan like that every single time you trade is what's going to lead to your success. So on the 10th of volume was dead. It was trading about from 80 cents to 85. Nothing happening. What I'm going to be waiting for, I have an alert set when it goes below 80, meaning that it breaks the support at 80 cents, or when it goes above 85 or 90, because then that can mean it's getting manipulated again, or whatever it's happening with the stock. It's showing upward momentum, and then we can continue to ride it from there. So that's my analysis on NET on what to kind of look for. I have my alerts set. Alerts with Fidelity or TD Ameritrade. Robinhood does not allow you to. Whatever the brokerage company is, you can set those alerts on when it goes above 85, when it goes above 90, when it goes below 80. an effort to keep you up to date on where NETE stands, just because it's most likely not going to be one you're going to want to actively trade since the volume is still very low. Again, if the volume is shown right here, and if I hover over here, it was as low as 500 shares, which means that people are just trying to sell 500. So that doesn't mean anything. So IPI is one that is now bouncing from the 175 safety, which is actually where we were able to catch it at. I ended up selling at the 185, hit a resistance at 190, and then it's great, but it looks like on the 9th it ended up breaking above the 190 resistance and is now trading in between this area. So this upcoming week, set your alerts above $2, because if it goes above $2, where is it going to go? So you go a little bit further back in history. It trades and it peaks out mainly around this point at 205. So does it have 2%? 10% potential? Not really. It has nearly 2.5% potential. But if the volume is just right, it does have the potential based on its history. So if I go a little bit further back, it's gone highs of 240 again. But being realistic, what's probably going to happen? So most likely it's going to hit the $2 mark and then start bleeding back down. So now that we identify these, old supports, our old resistance levels, when it was going up, it was like 85 cents, 90 cents, $2. If it goes above $2 and it starts coming down, those are going to be the new supports, meaning that it's going to be bouncing at $2, be bouncing at 190, be bouncing at 185. So what that means is now you can set up a buy plan. I'm going to buy if it bounces at 190. I'm going to wait for the upward momentum, buy in. I know there's a resistance at $2, and it's pretty strong since it doesn't even go above really 198. So a good exit point, might be $1.97. You can follow with a trailing stop loss to make sure that while it's going up, you lock in your profit, and do that for every time that it drops support. As most likely it's going to continue to bleed back down. Overall, at that 175 support that it has, if it goes below the 175 support, as it hasn't done so in a really long time, you probably want to go 1 month back. Based on what I was able to see, or 175 was the 1 month low. 3 months back, it does have the capabilities or just the history of going below 175. So you want to make sure that just based on the couple months that it's been holding above 175, it doesn't mean that it's always going to hold. So it kind of peaks out at that $2, 240 mark, starts coming back down. So again, 175, 180, you want to make sure you cut your losses anything below that, because you definitely don't want to be one that rides it all the way down. So that's my analysis on IPI. SEYX, this is definitely not one that I'm looking to trade this upcoming week. The reason why is because of how high it is. So this is one that would be nice to catch. It bounced had a really good day, being able to bounce at 310, hit highs of 340. So that's definitely 10%. As it starts coming down, I would try to catch for anything around 310, cut losses anything below that, and then if not, 289 for SEYX. JAGX, this is one that has a gap and did very well. This is one that was introduced by us or to the group last week because of the huge jump in momentum it had. We got the balance at 90. We're able to make quite a bit of profit a couple of times. This one that was pretty successful within our group. A lot of traders were able to make a lot of money when it came to the stock itself. But now it has a support at 90. So for all those that are viewing right now, there is no real support after it drops below 90. So what that means is, in a sense, once it drops below 90, you're going to see a huge drop. It's most likely not going to staircase down since there is no real support. So this is one that you have to be very careful, because if it continues to drop, mainly below, 187, as it tends to bounce pretty well at that area. If it dropped below that point, anything below 85 cents, you can probably see a big drop down to 74 cents, if not, 67 cents. And you don't want to do that. So I'd say cut losses anything below 90 cents to minimize risk altogether. If it shows upward momentum and it starts to continue to go up, you can buy in at 90, cut losses anything below 90, and then shoot to sell around $1. But this is definitely one that still has potential if the volume is right. We'll just have to see how the morning opens. NUGT was one that I shouted out, and it was one that I did very well on, because I was able to identify the support at $12. And the reason I was able to identify that was pretty much the resistance it had at $12. Once it broke it, it did very well. So I knew the support was most likely going to do, the support was most likely going to be at 12 because of the support it built pre-market hours. So Fidelity does give you the option when you click on setting, it shows you, click extended hours. which means pre-market or aftermarket. So I was able to identify the support. It bounced, it has up to 12, and then it was coming back down. I waited for the upward momentum. It did go below $12. It went to $11.98. I was able to jump right in. I was in a meeting, nothing crazy. This is a larger stock, so I wasn't too worried about it. I had my stop loss anything below $11.98, and I followed with a trailing stop loss. Was able to sell at my exit point above 1280, and it has up 310. So most likely, based on its history, it's going to start coming back down. Not too sure if it's going to, but again, it's all about setting up a game plan and being able to identify these supports. GoPro is one that I think that's going to have quite, hopefully it has good news this week. It's been, taking really big loss, and this is for those swing traders. GoPro, based on how it's doing overall this year, again, GoPro is definitely not a penny stock, but it has been struggling. And it's pretty much at a near to a 52 week low. So what that means is for those long-term traders that kind of want to get into, not trading too actively and kind of want to do more of a hold, this is definitely one that you guys might want to look into if you guys buy anything around this point right here. Again, we're looking at the support level, resistance being around the $11 mark. So setting up a whole game plan again with this, being able to buy anything within this. It does have a support at 853, I believe, based on what I was able to analyze when I was thinking of swing trading this. And it has a resistance at $11. So your whole plan can be, I can buy anything around this point, cut losses, anything below $8.50, as that is, the 52-week low or the overall low for GoPro to get like all together. So if I do like an altogether like analysis, it looks like the overall low is around 853, and most likely it's not going to have this huge spike as it used to trade about $90. But again, $11 isn't like a crazy number for it to pop up to. If anything, you can buy at this point and then sell around the $10 to $11 mark, which it was just at, a couple days ago. So again, set up your own game plan, do your own technical analysis, but this is definitely one that I think is going to have a lot of potential. And let me tell you guys why. The reason why is because it has a gap. I need to get a little bit closer. It has this like gap between support and resistance from the $9 mark to pretty much $9.30, and that's quite a big jump. And with this jump, it's most likely going to show upward potential, and then that's when we're going to see a rise probably all the way to that $11 mark. So again, do your own analysis. I'll be keeping you guys up to date. I have my alerts set. So that's pretty much it on my recap for this upcoming week. ACUR, that much there, and then I don't really want to talk about that one. All right. So hopefully you guys are able to identify that. Again, that's pretty much what I do. I repeat this whole process on being able to identify the support and resistance repeatedly for all the different stocks in an effort to find, just potential within these stocks. We shoot for that 10%. If you can lock in profit anything from the 5 to 8%, then go for it and minimize loss. Cut losses right below the support. That's what I would recommend if you guys want to cut losses at 2.5%. That's also not bad, but I don't understand why risk more than the support level when you know that the support is at one point, and if it breaks that support, most likely it's going to bleed down to the next level support and more money. Does that make sense? So I hope you guys found this video somewhat helpful. I'm going to try to see if I can answer any more of your guys' questions. And let's see. Okay, so it looks like you guys would like based on Celeste and a couple other people would like the live trading. I think that would actually be really cool. Just you guys while I trade, because it does get kind of boring. Just that I'm very busy in the mornings. Although I am trading, I am doing a lot of other things. So a guy asked me if I have lipstick on. No, I was drinking some. I'll show you guys. Some Fanta. Yeah, so definitely don't have lipstick on. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I don't have lipstick, maybe chapstick, but yeah. Yeah, so I'll definitely look into live trades. I'll try to see what platform would be nice. YouTube tends to kind of get a little bit shaky with quality, and being able to see the my analysis, don't think that would be a very good platform to use. So we'll look into that. Um, I appreciate that, Andrew. So you guys are asking for the three that I see the potential in before the night. I haven't done my analysis. If you guys see like when I respond to you guys, I mean I'm busy throughout the entire day, and I don't usually go to sleep until like 12, no, like one to maybe even two. Based on me doing like recap videos, I have a lot of other things. I'm a full time student, work normal job side, so it's definitely something that I you guys see that I truly do value. Your guys' effort and your guys' time, right? And that's why I continue to motivate myself to respond to as many messages as I can and catch up with how quickly TechBud Solutions is growing. So I think if I find the time, to be able to put 10, 20 minutes aside and being able to analyze these companies, um, likely will be able to as well. It really comes down to how much you guys want it. A lot of people don't see the value in that, especially when they're not seeing that return. But I think if you can focus on it's kind of something, I don't want to say like selfless to say, but um, to not worry too much about the money right now. I think if you can find it in yourself, if you have to have somewhat of stable income at as of now to realistically do this long term, kind of in the way that I'm doing it. Um, I'm not very aggressive when it comes to trading. As you guys see, I'm a very technical trader, and I don't just jump into something without kind of seeing the risk. And I do that with everything that I choose to invest in: houses, cars. I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm not here to, you know, make friends in a sense. I don't want to say I'm not here to make friends with you guys, but I'm not here to do something that is not mine, right? I'm not willing to risk any of your money or nor my money without knowing what the risk is. And I think you guys truly need to value, well, you're like, it's tuition paid. Yes, but you want to minimize the tuition you paid. And with these rules that we set up for you guys on minimizing loss and promoting growth, you guys truly need to it's really learning the concept of trading and trying to become the best trader. And in the long run, as you continue to grow, your savings account, as you continue to grow your brokerage account, you will see if, because your risk account will get larger. And if you can start locking in, 5, 10% every single time you trade. Yes, right now I'm bringing in on average, right, for risking 2,500. But later on, when I start risking 20, 30, 40,000, as I definitely continue to scale it out and I can be there within, 2 years, now I can start making, $2,000 every single time I trade, $5,000 every single time I trade, and understanding that I can continue to scale it out. And if I'm patient, if I'm disciplined, and I know you guys can too, but it's all about being disciplined, sticking to your rules, and being motivated in making money. Like right now at this moment, with a small account of like anything less than $1,000. And I'm not saying risk, like absolutely, I'm not saying risk anything more than $1,000, but you guys definitely won't see the return you guys are looking for, and making $1,000 or $100 to $10,000 within a week. Because realistically, with the concept that we teach, that's not how we scale it out. That's not very realistic for this group. And I definitely don't want to promote anything that's the get rich quick scheme or anything like that. I've been doing this for a while and I will continue to do this for a while because I see the potential in it and I hope that you guys do too. I just want to make that as this group continues to grow, I definitely want to make sure that we stick, just close to, if not very, to express what our, in a sense, credo is. Teaching people the basics and fundamentals of trading, providing you with a clear and simple platform on, making it easier for you guys to trade and learn how to trade and being able to network ideas, because I think that's where you'll find the most potential, being able to connect motivated entrepreneurs worldwide in effort to see the best and the most successful growth. So thank you guys again so much for joining us for this Sunday Stock Talk. All the links are provided for you down below. I am going to start removing the swing trader group chat, just because I know those people that are tuning in right now are part of TechBud Solutions most likely. So for those that were able to jump in, thank you guys again so much. If you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach out to me. My email is it's provided for you down below. We do upload daily recap videos, a YouTube channel, well, you guys are on YouTube. So if you guys can subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. We upload daily videos. If you guys have any suggestions on videos you guys would like me to make, feel free to let me know. I definitely want to continue to make content that makes you guys happy, but I definitely want to stick to close to these investing videos as well as cars, as I've kind of strayed away from that just because of how busy I've been getting. And I know you guys are definitely, based on what you guys tell me, very busy but very motivated. So I'm really happy to have each and every single one of you in our team. And if you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach out to me. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Let's make sure we start this week on a green note, and take care, guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.